G'day guys and welcome back to ADOS the Great YouTube channel. So guys, I'm going to be giving you my 2021-22 NBA playoff predictions. So that means I'll go through the play-in, I'll go through both sides of the play-in, and we'll talk about how I think this is all going to line up. So, starting with the play-in tournament, we have on Tuesday in America, but Wednesday in Australia, the Timberwolves against the Clippers, Timberwolves being my team, and the Nets against the Cavaliers. All right, so let's go through. I won't do this I won't go into that much depth, but it could be a little bit of a longer video. Pretty much just going to put a circle around the teams that I think will get the win. So without further ado, let's get into it, guys. Starting off straight away, we've got the Nets versus the Cavaliers. I think this is going to be a pretty close game. However, this is where the Nets are going to flourish. Don't rule out the Cavaliers. I think they'll put up a really good fight in this game. But I'm back in the Nets. I think they'll get the job done and they'll lock in that 7th seed. Over in the West, we've got the Minnesota Timberwolves against the LA Clippers. I completely understand that Paul George is, playing his heart out for the Clippers. Clippers are playing pretty well as a team as well. Like, to get the 8th seed without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard Kawhi Leonard hasn't played at all this season. Paul George started the season very well and he's finishing it well. Like, the Clippers have done so well to not have their two best players and still finish in the 8th seed. Like, that is crazy. But I'm going to have to go with my boys here. I think the Timberwolves can get this done. They finished 10 games above 500, which is amazing. I'm so proud of the effort that those boys put in. I'm picking them to lock in that 7th seed, which will mean that the Clippers and the Cavaliers will go into the second round of the play-in. All right, let's talk about the other the other 4 teams. So the Pelicans versus the Spurs. The winner of this will go down to play the Clippers, and I have got the Pelicans winning this one. I think the Pelicans will get the job done. CJ McCollum was an amazing pickup for them. Brandon Ingram's playing his heart out. They just look really good. Valanciunas killing it for them as well. So I think we'll see the Pelicans get the win there over the Spurs. However, don't discount a coach team. Oh, a Greg Popovich coach team is what I should be saying. But I have got the Pelicans winning that one. Next up, we've got the Hawks against the Hornets. LaMelo Ball versus Trae Young is going to be a mouth-watering game. I just think we're going to see the expertise or the leadership. He's not really a veteran yet, but he's had that finals experience, and I think Trae Young is going to get them out of that first playing game and get the win there to face the Cavaliers. All right, moving on to the second round of the play-in. We've got the Clippers against the Pelicans. I've got to pick the Clippers. I think the Clippers will do enough to get the win here. The Pelicans could definitely cause an upset, but I do think the Clippers get the win. So they move up to the 8th seed for me, or they stay with the 8th seed. And then over in the East, Cavaliers against the Hawks. Cavaliers have been amazing this year, and I don't think they're going to bow out now. Like the Cavaliers holding on to that 8th seed as well. So the 9th and 10th seed respectively from both sides go. That's it. They're both knocked out. That's my prediction there. I'll go over to the playoffs soon because there's another app we can use for that. So I'm going to jump over and do that one now. Hey, Roo, guys. So here we are. As you can see, the predictions are all here. So let's check this out and let's see what I've got going here. So Suns and Clippers. Look, I think the Suns will get the first 2. Clippers will get 1. Look, I reckon we're going to see the Suns take this one in 6. I think the Clippers will put up a good fight against the Suns. I really do. I think Paul George is going to be really trying to, get his team up there. And I like what the Clippers have been building. I think they've been doing really well this year. So I'm backing the Suns in 6. But I wouldn't, as I'm saying, I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers take a couple of those games. I don't see them beating the Suns, but I definitely think that they could pose a bit of a threat there. All right, the next one, we've got the Heat versus the Cavaliers. Now, look, I've got the Heat winning this one. I do. It's tough because I don't think that they will win convincingly, but I think we'll see another 6-game series. So let's just do basically what we did. Not that one. Basically what we did for this one. Well, I've got the Heat winning this one in 6. Jazz versus Mavericks. I think this one is going to be a very, very fun series. The Jazz sort of fell off to the end, or at the end, I should say, of the 2022 season. This is tough because I actually think the Jazz will win this one in 7. I think this one goes to 7. I'm not going to lie. I honestly do. But I've got the Jazz winning this. I think the Jazz are going to get the win over the Mavericks here. I just think Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, they're both playing for their futures. If Donovan doesn't get I'm going to say if Donovan doesn't get past probably the first 2 rounds, I think it's time he packs his bags and heads off personally. So I think the Jazz will be hungry to get past this first round. And I'm backing an upset here, technically. So, backing the Jazz in 7 in that one. Love the Raptors, my wife's favorite team. Absolutely, I've got so much respect for Toronto Raptors. But I've got to back the 76ers in 5. I don't think the Raptors will put up that much of a fight. I could be completely wrong, and I hope I am. But I just think James Harden and Joel Embiid are going to be way too good for the Raptors there. Next up, we've got the Warriors and the Nuggets. Now, this one's tough because if Steph comes back, I think the Warriors win this in 5. If Steph doesn't come back for the first few games, I've got the Nuggets winning these. I'm going to go Warriors in 6 in this one. I just think, if Steph's there, the Warriors will get through this round. The Nuggets didn't look great. If Jamal Murray, I'm pretty sure he's out for the season. I'm pretty sure they've confirmed that. But if the Nuggets get some of their players back, it could be a lot closer than this. Could be another upset. But personally, I think the Warriors will win this one fairly comfortably. Next up, I've got the Bucks winning this one in 5. I don't see the Bulls putting up much of a threat in this one. Bucks in 5 for me in that one. But I think it'll be a very entertaining series. I don't think it's going to be blowouts in many games. I think the Bulls will keep with the Bucks. But I think the Bucks will inevitably be too strong for the Bulls. Next up, we've got my Timberwolves against the Grizzlies. Now, this does hurt. Personally, I'm pretty happy about the matchup. Obviously, I would have probably preferred to play the Warriors, but we play pretty well against the Grizzlies. So I am confident that we can cause a couple of upsets, and I reckon we could potentially win this series or take it to 7. But you know what? I'm going to take the bias out of it. I'm going to back the Grizzlies here. I think they will. I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to go in 5. I'm taking the bias out. I'm hoping and praying that the Timberwolves that they do it in, and they get this, or they can get this done. I really am, but I just think the Grizzlies. I think they're going to be too good. I hate to say it. I would love the Timberwolves to go all the way. That would be an amazing story. But, they've got to play 2, or they may have to play 2 playing games. If they play the Suns, I don't really see us being a chance.
But against the Grizzlies, look, I think there's every possibility we can win it. But if I'm being extremely realistic, I've got to take the Grizzlies. I'm sorry to myself for saying that, but also to the Timberwolves, as a franchise, as a team, and to the loyal fans, I do apologize that I've taken the Grizzlies here. It hurts me to do so, but I've got to take the bias out of it. I think the Grizzlies will win that one. I'm going to give us 6, though. I am going to give us 6. I think we can get the job done in 6. I mean, I think we can take the Grizzlies to 6, but I don't see us winning this series. Next up, we've got the Nets and the Celtics, and this one sucks. Like, the Celtics have probably got arguably the best team in the East. You could also say, I guess, that the 76ers are the best. It's hard to say, but I think this is going to suck for the Celtics. I think this series will go to 7, but I do have the Nets winning this. I do think it will go to 7, but I've got the Nets winning it 4-3. Oh, it's a tough one. It is a tough one because the Celtics have proved to be a pretty tough team to beat, but inevitably I think the Nets will get the win there. All right, conference semi-finals. These are going to be very interesting. Very interesting. So, for the first one, look, I think the Suns get this done in 5. The Jazz, honestly, I think they will put up a good fight and be competitive, but I can't see them getting out of this second round. And I think that will be Donovan Mitchell's last game there. Game 5 of the second round, I think we will see the last game for Donovan Mitchell in a Jazz jersey. For this next one, technically it's an upset, but I mean, not really. I'm going the 76ers. Look, I think they'll win it in 6. I think the Heat will be very, very good, but the hype behind the 76ers is just way too big. I think they'll get the job done, unfortunately. Next up is the Warriors and the Grizzlies. With Steph back, I think this is going to go to 7. I honestly believe this is going to go to a game 7. And I've got the Warriors winning. I do. I think a healthy Warriors team, they'll have Draymond, they'll have Klay Thompson, they'll have Steph Curry. I think they get the job done there in 7 over the Grizzlies. I think this one is another one that goes to 7, but I do have the Bucks winning this one. Look, as much as I think a lot of people would love to see it, the 76ers versus the Nets, I think the Bucks win this one. I just think they're going to be too good at the end. So let's go to the conference finals. So I think this is pretty much what a lot of people probably would have had predicted after the trade deadline. I don't know what you guys think, but I definitely think this is how it's going to pan out. However, I could be way wrong, and we could be seeing the Raptors versus the Timberwolves, which would go down very well in this household, with my wife and I being big Timberwolves and Raptors fans respectively, as I said at the start of the video. Look, I think this game, or this series, is going to go to the Suns, and I think they're going to get it in 6. I've got the Suns in 6 in this one. Look, realistically, it probably could go either way, but I just think, the Suns won 63 and 8. Oh, sorry, 64 and 18, and the Warriors, even with Curry, have tended to struggle against some of the better teams in the league. So, if they get past the Grizzlies, I think that'll be a very tough series, and I don't see them getting past the Suns. I think the Suns are a team that 100% can win the NBA Finals this year. Next up, the 76ers against the Bucks. This is another game I think will go to 7, but I've got the 76ers winning this one. I think they'll be way too good for the Bucks. Let me just see, because I'm pretty sure, well, that one went to 6. So, yeah, I think the 76ers will be prime, ready to go. So I've got them winning this one in 7. I think that's pretty fair. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my take at this point of time, or you disagree? I'd love to hear your opinions. But yeah, let's get to the NBA Finals. So finally, the finals. Here we go. Hopefully, I'm not blocking the screen. I probably won't know until I've done the edit. But yeah, let's see how we go. So the 76ers versus Suns. So you've got Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, really that's their big 3. And then for the 76ers, I'd have to say for their big 3, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and James Harden. Now, this is tough because the 76ers have looked at times the best team in the league. But James Harden was on a bit of a downward spiral at the end of the season. But as you see, he has I think he's averaging over the last few games 13 or 14 assists. That's crazy. He's getting the ball to Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid is realistically turning those assists into points and getting wins. So even if James Harden doesn't play his best, I still think the 76ers could get out of this one and get a championship. I don't know. This is probably the toughest out of the lot, and it should be because it is the finals. Now, you know what? I'm doing the 7-game series again. We're going right down to the wire here. I think this is going to be a very entertaining series. And I think that Chris Paul is going to have more than enough in his bag to get it done with Devin Booker. I just think the Suns have got what it takes to get this. I'm backing the Suns. I think the Suns win. That's my tip. So there's my bracket there. So let's have a look. So Suns in 6, Jazz in 7, Warriors in 6, Grizzlies in 6, Heat in 6, 76ers in 5, Bucks in 5, and Nets in 7. So then we've got the Suns against the Jazz. I got the Suns winning that one in 5, Warriors winning that one in 7, 76ers winning in 6, and Bucks winning in 7. Alright, so the next one is the Suns and the Warriors. I got the Suns winning in 4 and 6, and the 76ers winning in 7. Then finally, at the end of the day, when you look at that bracket, I think the 76ers against the Bucks will be a hell of a bloody matchup. And I just think the 76ers are going to be tired. The Suns are going to capitalize on that and get the win in 7. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all so much for watching. Drop down in the comments below your predictions and let me know. But yes, guys, that is going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for your support. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.